I'm standing in front of the facade of Wells Cathedral. Some would say the most beautiful cathedral in the country. I thought I'd start by telling you a little bit about this cathedral. There was a church here from the year 705, but the cathedral was built between the years 1176 and 1450, so it took quite a long time. And what makes the city of Wells, and by the way that's Wells, W-E-L-L-S, Wells in Somerset in England, what makes Wells a city? And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about cities. So what makes a city? A lot of people think Wells is the smallest city in England or in the UK, and actually is not quite. So the smallest city by geographical size is actually the city of London. A lot of people think London itself is of course massive. The city of London is not, it's tiny, hence London town. So the city of London is the smallest city in the UK, and Wells, where I am now, is the second smallest city by geographical area at around 3 square kilometres. It is actually the smallest city by geographical area if you consider the area as being isolated and surrounded by countryside. So of course the City of London is surrounded by London town. So a standalone, geographically separated city, Wells, is the smallest. It's actually the 4th smallest city in the UK by population. The first smallest is St David's on the southwest corner of Wales. Now what makes a city? And I think people would think, given that I'm standing here in front of this gorgeous cathedral, that a cathedral makes a city, but it doesn't. Is it the size? Now, village, town, big city? Well, clearly not. Geographically or population. So what is it that makes a city? Is it the name city? Well, there are plenty of towns in the UK with city in the name, and they're not cities either. And actually what makes a city is a letters patent, and that is something that is granted by the monarch. So it's in the monarch's choice, in our case now of course Queen Elizabeth II, but historically monarchs were free to decide they would grant letters patent to this city or this town to make it a city and not that one. Completely down to choice. And I want to talk about choice now. The choice I want to talk about is whether you, if you're looking at a replacement or new contact center solution and you're thinking about delivering calls to your agents, I want to talk about the choice you've got in delivering calls to agents. And right now a lot of those agents, of course, given the environment we're in, are working from home, and a very cool solution is WebRTC to get calls to agents, because you don't need a phone, you just need a headset. You're using probably Google Chrome. WebRTC, real-time communications, will deliver that call to the agent's browser. All they need is a headset. Fabulous. But what happens when your agent's at home and someone else in the family is streaming, real-time streaming a movie? What happens if the internet suffers a little bit and goes slow? Does this happen to us? Well, of course it does. And then your agents complain they can't hear, the customers are going to complain they can't hear what's being said. The call sounds like it's underwater. And worse, what happens if there's an internet outage? So in my view, you should not settle for a solution where the vendor says, oh, and it only works on WebRTC. In my view, you should be looking for some choice. What happens if the internet goes down? Well, maybe you should be able to switch easily to the agent's mobile or their home phone. Choice. Thank you for watching.